It is Tuesday night, and it is another show, another sick podcast, Anvil show, where we're going to discuss who else is out there in free agency that may or may not be on their way to the Colts. Some big deals that have happened today, but they are not of the Colts, but it is officially the second wave of free agency. So let's jump into it. Sammy, start me up.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to The Sick Podcast. And Bill Show.
Intercepted! Marlon Jackson! Marlon's got it! We're going to the Super Bowl! We're going to the Super Bowl! Marlon Jackson with the interception! He picked off Tom Brady!
The sickest Indianapolis Colts podcast. It's gonna be sick.
What's good? It's going to be sick. Your boys are back. Let me go ahead and start the show officially. That is the official sound of the Anvil. That means your boys are live. We are hot. Welcome back. Yeah. How you boys feeling tonight?
Feeling pretty good. Feeling pretty good,
but I mean, there hasn't been any like news.
That's a good thing.
And wow. I mean, is it? Are we done with free agency? What you think?
It's a good and a bad thing. I think free agency, we were going to get who we were going to get, and I think anybody else that we get after this is going to be somebody that we're going to be looking at maybe like right before the draft or maybe during. So I think we got through the initial waves of free agency with not too many depth signings, so I'm very happy about that.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. I think, I mean, and it's not confirmed yet. Oh, well, I'm sorry. I want to say yet, but apparently it was never confirmed that we were actually talking to Isaiah Simmons. And that kind of bothered me because that news excited me. What's up, Sean? Welcome to the show. That news actually excited me. And I was hoping that was somebody that we was actually talking about. When I say Isaiah, my bad. I mean Isaiah Simmons. And so for that, I'm kind of upset that hasn't really made headway. But I think, him and maybe another piece out there, potentially. But I know that funds are limited. We still gotta, save money for the draft picks and that type of thing. So, but yeah, let's talk about, are there any potential free agents out there? And I seen Chase just popped up. Yes, it is news as of 5-10 minutes ago. Diggs, big deal. In New England, Russell Wilson is going to the Giants, things like that. But that's not really Colts news. But hey, it's NFL news, right? So it is what it is. But I want to hear what you guys think. It's still available, if available, to come to the Colts to support this team. And so, Mr. DEI, you did your homework, right? Yeah, because last week you was on one. So we'll start with you. Give me a free agent that you would like to see, and where do they fit?
Well, now you gotta switch around. I was working here.
Yeah, I know, because I heard your extra noise when I started. I heard myself, kind of reverbing over there.
I know. I'm sorry.
Unacceptable behavior.
Well, going through the list, there wasn't a whole lot of
look at
people I wanted, but there was a guy from Chicago, Steve Jenkins, 27. There's a guard, played pretty well after they moved him out of tackle.
Okay.
So once they brought him out of tackle, he played pretty well, had pretty good stats after that.
You mean Tevin Jenkins?
Yeah, Tevin Jenkins. I was gonna let him cook until you know what I mean. It's just kind of I was hoping that you didn't. I was just like, listen, I'm gonna let him rock for right now.
I think you mean Tevin Jenkins, and I thought Tevin Jenkins signed.
I'm reading it just what Google said.
Did he sign with someone? I think Tevin Jenkins.
Oh yeah, he did. No, Tevin Jenkins did sign with someone. Yeah.
Unacceptable.
I can't remember who, but I know he did just sign with somebody. Yeah.
DEI, listen, man.
Well, Google ain't giving me the newest updates. Then blame Google, not DEI.
Let me tell you something, man. In a time where jobs are not safe, you're on thin ice. I'm just saying. That's just where we at. That's just where we at. We gonna allow you. We gonna allow you to reset. You can reset. Maybe come back. I'm gonna forward it over to Chris. Chris, where you at, big dog?
I'm still at this is crazy. But you know what? You mentioned him prior to, and I think I'd be remiss if I didn't mention it. I think Isaiah Simmons not being signed or even remotely considered, I think is kind of a malpractice thing because we still do have some spots that need help. Like we still do. I think like we would be good
I think Chris is having troubles.
Oh, he's okay for having troubles, but my Google having troubles isn't okay. Got it.
Okay, we're gonna allow
Got it, boss.
Chris to reset
Hold up, hold
himself.
up, hold up. We good? It's just
Yeah,
internet. The internet here
you're still not good, man. You
sucks.
remember when y'all got on me about my internet?
No.
Yeah, Sammy. Let's give Chris a chance to readjust thyself. I'll jump because we were kind of going to talk about the same player for a little bit. Isaiah Simmons is an important piece, in my opinion, because of the freakish talent, athletic ability that he possesses. I mean, he was a high draft pick coming out of Clemson in, I believe, 2019. He's been in the league about 5 years. But I mean, he's been experimental, right? So in Arizona, where he was drafted, he played a lot of linebacker, and then he got traded to the Giants, and the Giants had been experimenting with him like as a box safety, a little bit of an edge, so he can like kind of maneuver in a lot of different spots. And I think in a defense, key phrase, multiple defense, you want a guy like that who has tons of ability to be able to maneuver himself around, to be able to put himself in unique situations. And so now that Chris is back, he stole a little bit of his thunder, which he actually stole a little bit of my thunder. Somebody's got to be Thor.
Nuh-uh.
So whatever. You can go. You can have it back. I was just talking about Simmons and why I think that he would be a masterful piece just because he's
Yeah.
freakishly athletic and he's been experimented from playing on the edge all the way to box safety. So I feel like on a multiple defense, that is someone that could definitely benefit and bring value. But I'll kick it back to you, or maybe I won't. Maybe Chris is. Yeah, Chris's internet has the COVID.
Hey, at least he wasn't like scratching his nose when he froze.
Oh God. Okay. So now
But
we'll go
I'll tell
back.
you, one thing that does intrigue me with what you're saying is we seen how a change in defensive coordinators interrupts our players.
Fair.
Look what Gus did to Kenny his first year. Kenny finally adjusted to the system and came back to the Kenny that we knew. Darius Leonard was never able to adjust to Gus's defense. So somebody like that,
Yep.
that has that mindset that he can travel anywhere and be effective, that is intriguing.
Yeah. And I think that that's important to highlight, mainly because this defense has always had, I think, solid players, and we've had some freak athletes, the Bobby Okerekes, the Darius Leonards, that type of thing. But we've always just been in such a bland defense, just like blah, right? Like
Yeah.
fall to a spot, come up and tackle. But in the defense where you're going to do, exotic shifts and show
It's okay to
things.
give him 82 yards, but you better not give him
Give him
83, damn it.
right? Yeah. So in a defense that's going to show you exotic things, guys are going to initially start in a certain set, back out of it, fall back to a zone, whatever, be able to cover and or hook zone depending on what you need. You want the most athletes as possible. You don't just want to key in on a couple stars. You want to be like, hey, everybody on this defense that's basically the back seven can make a play. And I feel like bringing in a guy, especially like, I mean, and again, he didn't have a monster year last year. He played in spots for New York, but I think that when you're absolutely trying to put a defense together, you look at value. The Giants gave him 1 year, $2 million last year. So I mean, shit, you waste $2 million, and I'm saying it like it's my money, but in football money, you waste $2 million on I don't know, practice squad dudes. You know what I mean? So if we
Yeah,
can bring
kicking
him
him off
in,
and bringing him back on. Kick him off
yeah.
and bring him back on.
Exactly. So I'm like, shit, if we can, if we can figure it out, and maybe he'll be a third wave, maybe he'll be a late second wave. I don't know. But I mean, I guess I'll kick it to myself again, because the guy that I was going to talk about too, outside of Isaiah Simmons, was yet another linebacker that also happens to be out in Arizona, and that's Kaiser White. I just feel like You don't want to follow the Joneses, if you will, right? Like trying to keep up with the Joneses. But
Absolutely.
but currently, the best team holistically, just based off the last 2 seasons, and please, Colts fans, don't shoot me, in our division is the Houston Texans. And they only seem to get better on the defensive side of the ball. Now, one might argue, hey, losing Stephon Diggs, not having Tank Dell, they're going to have to figure some stuff out on offense. The offensive line over there is shaky. I'm not here to combat none of that because I'm not a Texans fan. But they do get richer on defense. I mean, they picked up Devin White, who's been a great young linebacker. He's still only 27 years old. Great years with the Bucks. Maybe didn't have such a great year. I think he was he in New York? Where did he play last year?
No, he played in Philly for a little while, I think.
Philly, yeah. So,
Yeah.
I knew it was one of those NFC East teams, but perhaps maybe he didn't do his yeoman's work that he's done with the Bucks in the past out there. But I still think he's a quality backer to go with what they already have. I mean, shit, their whole defense was pretty legit, and they're just getting better. So I feel like we have to compete within the division first, and so you have to build your team to beat division opponents. And right now, I mean, we fixed some spots, but there's still some glaring spots. A lot of noise. EJ Speed's probably going to sign somewhere else, and that's probably a good thing, right? And so we're definitely going to need a linebacker. We talked last week on our way too early to mock. We all kind of picked a backer in there at some point. I like Carson Schweschinger. I think sending Lou out there just to get another feel, another look at the pro day was a big sign that might be a guy that we're looking at. And so we might bring in some help, but it's great to have veterans. So Carly's and Zaire will do their thing. We lost Grant Stewart. I mean, the 19 tackle game, I thought we were about to anoint him. So
No, I
I
called it. I called it.
hey, no knock on my boy. Great special teamer, but man, he was not. He was
Nah,
not.
it was the calls.
the
The
guy.
calls. They were just like, "Oh no, let EJ Speed go sign Grant Stewart long term." Just be like, "Listen, this is one game. He has to have a game similar to that." And then next week, he was nowhere to be found. They're
Hey,
just like, "Okay, maybe we were wrong." It's just like,
that's
that's
giant facts. That's giant facts. And so for that, I'm okay with that. You know what I mean? Like, hey, let's let him do his thing up in Detroit and wish him the best. And after that, we'll go and figure some stuff out. But yes, there's things that we need to do. And I'm hoping, right? I'm hoping that we are going to address those problems because the biggest thing is this is honestly the way it's fallen this offseason. I feel like we have the ability, I'm gonna say this loosely, but I'm gonna say it loudly, to fix all the problems. Literally, between the offseason and the draft, like we're not in a space where we're like, damn, we only got 3 to 4 quality, no kidding, like key players on this whole team. Nah, we're way beyond that. We just gotta now, like we have the main course. We got to get the garnishings. Right? We gotta, and so when you bring in a young player to play these garnishing positions, places not necessarily where they need to hide, but where they're protected. So you bring in a young linebacker that's playing next to a veteran linebacker that led the league in tackles, whether you like him or not, with great presence behind him when it comes to the secondary. You give that guy a little bit more freedom, and a lot of pressure
yeah,
may or may not be on him. I think Darius Leonard walked into that by having Anthony Walker, who was a vet,
yes,
showing him how to do things, and he got a lot of freedom. So that's kind of am where I am. But Kaiser White, to my point, would be a great backer to bring in. I think he's in year 7, year 8. He's like
year
28,
seven.
29 years
Yep.
old. And I think he would be a great backer to then maybe even offset, what Zaire has needed to do over the last 2 to 3 years. In all honesty, allow Jalen Carles to get more into the thing. And you gotta look at it, man. The whole NFL is a fucking nickel, right? So backers
Yeah.
are important, but we know that 7 to 8 defenders, in the back is probably what you're going to see more of. So,
Well,
Yeah.
let me ask you this. Do you think it's a telltale sign at the draft if we don't go after one of these linebackers
that we're happy.
that they're going to make a push for like Jihad Campbell or somebody like that?
Oh well, I mean, currently, yes. Like we're currently into wave two. Would you say, Chris? So,
Oh,
I
Wave
mean,
absolutely.
two,
Wave
wave
two
three.
started.
I mean, so yeah. So with that, just with that and nothing else. I mean, you have to think about how does this really look, in my opinion. So, who's really out there, right? Like none of these guys that we're mentioning are like bona fide, like legit. Hey, we just picked up the top backer out there. Their presence, they help, their support what we're trying to do, but I don't think any of those guys are like top tier. So
Yeah, and I
you
think
still leave room for that.
yeah, and I think the issue that you have right now is that you have like the tight end room, no question, needs help. But also at the same time, you also have a linebacker group that has lost a significant amount. Like you basically lost the whole left outside with losing Stewart. You lost speed, and you didn't have necessarily have anybody to come up. So right now, you essentially have Zaire, you have Zaire, you have Carlisle, you have Cam
George.
McGrone, and you have Segan Alubi. And so the thing is, I like Carlisle's potential, but McGrone and Segan Alubi haven't necessarily made that jump from just being guys who can be backups or who are just depth pieces.
Those starters, right?
And so the thing for me is that, and I like the fact that you brought up Kaiser White because I said it today earlier in the space on Twitter. I'm gonna call it Twitter, but but I said it earlier in the space today on Twitter.
The
I said
X.
if we get Isaiah Simmons or Kaiser White, I'm team get Tyler Warren in the first
Ah,
because for me, you've paid enough attention to where even if you get one linebacker in this current free agency, because there's still some guys in there, even if you get somebody that's older, maybe like a 1 year holdover, that means that essentially you're not going to just be hoping that somebody in the draft falls to you or something happens in the draft. So that if you do end up drafting linebacker, whether it's Jahad Campbell or somebody in the second or third round or whatever it may be, then you're going to have the potential to go and say, okay, well now I can go ahead and I can draft a linebacker or two in the draft, or I can get like an undrafted, I could get one in the draft and get an undrafted free agent because then you filled out your linebacker room, knowing that you have guys who are experienced, knowing that you picked up a vet free agency, and then knowing that you have young guys, which is honestly the way that it should be done, rather than just saying, oh, I'm just going to draft and then hope that everybody else in that room makes a leap from being a depth to a starter.
so and with that, I mean, the guys that we discussed, Campbell, like, so hearing about his injury after the combine, I mean, does that significantly hurt his stock? Like, does he
No,
fall drastically? Because a lot of
no,
people, I've seen crazy mocks him in the second round. I just don't buy that.
Yeah.
no.
And look who we've drafted before that was injured. Odangbo
Yeah,
was one.
yeah.
Well, shit.
Oh,
The,
don't
the,
forget what's the name?
Latu was one. Like, if you
The
think about his history.
dang it, I forget his name now. The safety that we drafted from Ohio State, Malik
Oh, Hooker.
Willis. Yes, Malik
Hooker,
Willis.
Hooker, Hooker, Hooker. It was
No,
Hooker, Malik Hooker.
Malik
Malik
Will.
Willis was the quarterback from Tennessee.
What are you doing right now? You mean you're
who's
talking
that?
about
Who's that safety that retired? What the hell am I thinking
his
of?
name is something Willis with a K.
Oh, Kari Willis.
Kari
Kari
Willis. I
Willis. That's it.
missed
Oh,
that.
That's
okay,
it.
that was two.
I'm
But he
sorry
wasn't
about
Me,
hurt
that.
coming out, I don't think.
Well,
yeah.
that's who I thought he was talking.
No,
But
no,
I'm just
no.
saying,
Malik Hooker.
ba-
Malik Hooker was recovering from a knee injury.
Yeah,
Ballard's not afraid to draft top talent, even if they're injured at the time of the draft. We've seen it, and I'm okay with that too, because if that so-called, and I'm doing my little air quotes or bunny ears, whatever the hell you call them, if it's that generational talent, it's worth letting him sit and recover for that first year.
Oh yeah, for
It
sure.
absolutely is. So I wouldn't stress that at all if that is who I want. But now let me ask. I'm going to ask you both this, because at 14, what's the bigger need, tight end or linebacker?
That says a lot.
It says monsters.
I said I'm gonna say this. It's got to be the luxury pick, and it's tight end. Currently, it's tight end. Now, here's the deal: because this draft is deep, in tight ends, this draft is deep in linebackers. I believe Jahad Campbell is the linebacker out of this entire draft. No,
Yeah.
no quarrels about it. Hands down, he is the one that has superstar potential. But I also think that you could find a great backer in round 4. You know, somebody like Mondon Jr. out of Georgia, I believe. Uh, there's other guys. There's the Clemson kid. I'm sorry, all these guys. I've been doing so much research, it's slipping my mind now. But there's multiple backers that could be found that could be serviceable. Keyword serviceable. Because
Yeah.
I think you're going to see, especially, and this is just how Chris Ballard does it. We've seen it with Matt Pryor. People
Yo,
who have been
don't do that. Don't
look,
do
I'm
that.
just saying.
That is a terrible way to premise that, by the way.
Okay, fair.
That is
Like, all I'm saying is folks that have been on the roster and they have continued to work, whatever that work is, because we don't get to see it all. They usually get their first shot, that first dib at showing, okay, you're truly next up because the person that started before you is no longer here. So in that right, Jalen would be up next, right? Replace Speed or no?
so
For what we got.
so
Because
the thing
McGrone, I love McGrone because he's a Michigan guy, but he ain't ready.
yeah, no, absolutely not. But the thing is, I think with Carly's, you saw his capability in game. And to me, I think in terms of his versatility that he was able to show, just being able to be in coverage, also being a linebacker that's going to hit people,
Yep.
being the height that he is, but
Yep.
then also having the speed that he has,
What's up, Teresa?
it shows that there's more than enough opportunity for him to
Yep.
be able to excel at that position, as opposed to him just being on the roster and then just saying, "Oh, well, there you go." I think ultimately, as of last year, when you saw Carly's come in, and when he played, you were just like, he's actually like he's doing a little bit better than the guys you have in there.
Yeah,
That is fair.
he showed a lot last year.
Which I'm gonna say something crazy.
He
That's
really
probably
did.
stupid. Which is why I think you bring in second round talent to compete at that spot versus if you bring in first round talent, Jahad Campbell, he has to be on the field. Who comes off the field?
But that's the thing. For me, if I'm looking at that, you asking that question, who comes off the field, because it like, and I'm gonna sound crazy for saying this, but you know what? I don't care. Jahad Campbell, because the thing is, we know Carly's can tackle. We know that he can play in the pass and he can play in the run. If Jahad Campbell is going to challenge anybody, it's going to be the Zaire. Because if we're being honest, the Zaire, he can tackle, fantastic. But Zaire, in terms of being able to cover, he doesn't necessarily have that capability. Jahad Campbell does all that now, and he's going to do that. But the thing is also, you have a younger asset in Jahad Campbell who's going to be able to go, and he's going to play the exact same way that he played in college, because he played in disguise coverages, he played blitz, he played run defense, he also played coverage. Zaire isn't somebody who generally does that. He can play some zone, but the thing is, for the most part, he got picks in places where he basically just happened to be able to roam over to where he was in the zone, and then people just went ahead and just threw the ball unwilling. But if we're being honest, Jahad Campbell is going to be the biggest challenge to Zaire, because Jahad Campbell is going to be playing a way that he's been playing, and Zaire is going to have to catch up, because Lou's defense isn't going to allow him to just stand there and just get tackles.
All right, I'm gonna take I'm gonna take the wimpy kid way out. I just need Jahad Campbell off the board at 14. Like, be gone. Be
That's not
gone.
the wimpy kid.
No, yeah, man, because here's the problem, bro. Like, I don't know.
There's a different word for that.
It's fine, but I mean, we're on air and we're not making those type of
I
things
know,
because we got bills to pay around here. But
We'll see.
it's fine. It's great. Take that. But this is the thing, man. Like, so, and I'm only saying this because, in all honesty, I don't like, God, man. Like, the pressure to draft one of the, because I mean, you can ask people who are football guys, and they'll give you a very football answer. There's really no wrong way you can do this. Tyler Warren, Jahad Campbell, they both there. Best player for best need. Fair. But then there's going to be the Zach Hicks of the world, which we appreciate. We've started to build a relationship with him. He's going to give you the science behind the why. And then you start to calculate reasons of doubt. Like, oh God, I got a lot of reasonable doubt to say, though Tyler Warren is the guy that I want to send the card in on. Wonder if you'll get Jahad Campbell. And not that you forget about the man on my wall back there, Darius Leonard, but it's like, we got us Darius Leonard 2.0, and all things are well. And you know what? We still don't have a tight end, but we'll find one later. Maybe we'll get Mason Taylor. And then like that starts to like make you feel comfortable. But then you like, you see Tyler Warren maybe have a fucking Brock year. You're like, oh shit. We should have had that guy. You know, like I don't just be off the board. Just
But, but
one of y'all be gone. I won't even put it on him. Tyler or you be gone. And then we'll get the other one. How about that?
You're doing some Harry Potter stuff here, man.
What is it? Leviosa.
There you go. There you go.
Bruh. What? I'll tell you though, and this is the way I look at it. I like them both, but I'm more still leaning towards Campbell for the simple fact missing him on the field is more detrimental to our win-loss columns than Tyler Warren.
How you know that?
Well, we saw it last year.
Okay,
we
saw it. Yeah, we definitely saw. We saw what happened to our defense last year.
But you've seen missing pieces on the back end.
But we also seen we also seen the Texans run 200 something yards on us. We seen who else ran all over us?
The Green Bay.
Green Bay ran all over us. I want to say Minnesota did too.
Soft defense.
But you know,
because you ain't got the right personnel on the field.
But you know what? But you know what the wildest part about it is that, Clyde? I'm always going to go back to this.
Okay.
With the offensive issues that we had last season, we still had a 13th overall offense. With the defensive issues that we had last season, we were still a 29th overall defense. Now let me also just go ahead and just make this clear also. If we ended up being, let's just say, a top 20 defense, let's just say if we were just 20, that's potentially going to put a win or two back in the column, because that means that there was stops made or there was actually a time of possession that was lessened in a couple of those games. So that means that with one win, you tie for the division. With two wins, you win the division. So with the defense being as bad as it was, if that defense was better last season, we end up being a double-digit win team.
Hey, listen, I've made this
point.
And
then you look at your tight end room that you got now and say, "Listen, boys,
shit, don't you
y'all stepping up?
Don't you start that shit?
I'm starting it.
I'm
starting it.
That's where I got to draw the line. That's where
you don't even know how to draw.
Take two. Cut the shit. No, but okay. So to your point, Chris, I have had that argument so many times in so many forums, and just we've discussed it on the platform. But then I realized, like, that's a lot of hypotheticals. You're right. All of that could have, should have, maybe would have, but that's still hypotheticals. And though I felt that defense was always going to hurt us, no matter how good the offense was going to be, changes had to be made. And so now we see change. So I say that to say, right, I'm not saying that I don't want Jahad Campbell. I'm not saying I don't want a first round defensive piece, because there's other people linked to us. Malachi Stark still.
I would love that too, by the way.
Yeah, that edge. There's an edge out of one of those ACC schools, I think, was linked to us at 14. There's a lot of defense that is linked to us. And then there's Tyler Warren. He's really the only offensive player that's linked to us. I think somebody threw a guard in there just to be funny. But I say all that to say
just to troll.
But I say all that to say
was me. That was
me. Probably. But I say all that to say, like, I feel like Lou understands what he walked into. And I think right away, him, Chris Ballard, Shane Steichen talked about the glaring deficiencies.
Yeah.
Which we day one, day two solidified, if you will, for now, for what's out there in the market. Now,
Yeah.
Cam and Javarius, great pickups. Everybody's feeling good. But I mean, it's still football. These guys could have a down year, whatever. And I'm not wishing none of that. But I'm saying for what we needed, we addressed, correct? The glaring deficiencies.
Ah,
I think they'll draft into what they need, but that's why I feel like for the first time, Chris, to your points that you have made several times, do our seventh round picks really matter? I think that you'll see, perhaps, maybe these guys that they draft deep into the draft, they might actually have a shot this year. You know, they might not just be, as they say, what's that term we had a few years ago?
Camp
throwaway
body.
pieces.
Camp bodies,
There
camp
you go.
fucking bodies. Shout out to Chase Shumway back in the day. Camp body was hilarious.
We still need to get those shirts, man.
We're supposed to get shirts and go out there one day at camp and like say camp bodies. I think we could do it on a non-media day just to have some fun. We should still do that. But yeah, that'll be a good time. But I mean, we're supposed to be talking about free agents, so we only talked about one, two, maybe three guys. So, are there any other free agents
Okay, so
that you
I
think?
will s- I will say I know that we've been kind of, banging the table to potentially trade for Michael Mayer, but I think you can potentially go ahead and take a flyer on Gerald Everett.
Oh,
And I think Gerald Everett would be somebody who has the experience. I mean, he's played in different
fair,
systems, just being able to go out there. I just think
fair.
he just has never caught on because he's never been able to consistently put it all together. However, I think if you have Gerald Everett along with whoever you get, if you choose to go Tyler Warren, Colston Loveland if he falls, Mason Taylor, whoever you choose at tight end in this draft, like I said, it's just like I think you now have an actual competition because I I like the upside that Jelani Woods has, but he's never on the field, so I don't care about it.
Fair.
So I mean, like I said, I'm not even though I'm a Juju Brents truther, I can't continue to hope for guys who are barely on the field for them to take leaps that they're not taking because they're not out there.
I mean, and here's the part that, yeah, it's still kind of worrisome if it is that most of these guys that we talk about, now second wave of free agencies, these are the no kidding guys that have been proven over the years, some maybe not. They can be serviceable players, but they're all north of 30 plus, right? Like,
Yeah,
what are you bringing them in for? What are they giving you? And a lot of times you look at these 30 plus guys, your favorite word, Chris, they're going to give you depth, or
eh,
or they're going to be a solid transition piece because you already have someone that you've selected that's young that maybe just needs a big brother in the room. You know what I mean? Like, get a big bro in the room, and they kind of watch a little bit, kind of take them under their arm, show them how to play and be a professional for a season. And then, the 30-year-old is out the door. And so, cause I looked at, oh man, the guard, he's older than shit. Sheriff,
oh,
He's
Brandon
like,
Scherf, yeah,
yeah, he's like,
33.
yeah, 33 pushing 34. But I'm like, dude, he's been serviceable back. Denver played good when the Jags gave him a big contract those years ago. And
Mhm.
so, I mean, does he come in and at least give you glow work? Sure. I think he gives you what Glowinski gives you at 33. But I think what I would like to see is, can you find that guy in round 3, 4 that you like, look, he's ready, right? And you got
Yeah,
some vets on the line, still got Big Q. He's now the no kidding leader with Kelly out the door, but he's also working with a young crew. So it's really Q and Braden. Now they're the anchors as the vets. And then you got Raymond going to his third year, Bortolini year 2. I don't know. Are you gonna start? Gonzalez, that'd be year 2. I don't know. Does Danny Pinter, we resigned him? Does he get another shot at guard? He played some decent moments there. I don't know. Do you give old boy? What was the guy that we had a we had a lot of he from BYU. We had a
oh,
lot of thought
Blake
about him.
Freeland.
Freeland. I know he's a tackle, but do you swing him inside because he's a monster of a man? Pause. Wow. What the fuck was that about? But anywho,
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I know. Maybe that was the better. I should have probably queued that one up instead. Anywho, yeah. Anywho, so perhaps you put him in there. I mean, I don't know, but I feel like you could find those young pieces there. So with me, honestly, I think I'm stuck with Isaiah Simmons, Kaiser White, maybe Sheriff. Um, as far as skill positions, I mean, I knew that Stephon wasn't going to be somebody we brought in, but is there a skill position, a running back, a receiver that's out there for us? I say no.
that you can
I don't.
afford,
I think you can afford
or
a lot
just
of.
a wish list? Because
Well,
if it's a wish list, Chubb's still out there.
No, fuck no. You don't bring in Nick Chubb. That's
That's
not.
why I said if it's just a wish list.
But that's not a. That's the kid that has everything already under the Christmas tree, and you're just greedy. And I say that because not that Nick Chubb is. I mean, he's been very unhealthy in his career, but like he was a RB1, and I don't think that his role has reduced to a RB2 that's serviceable for what we need. We need a back that
yeah.
can catch out the backfield and be a spot guy. Maybe Nick Chubb can still start for 1 or 2 years on a team that's bad.
I think we're honestly, and another thing that's not being talked about enough is the fact that this is also a deep running back class too.
Very
Like
deep.
you, and the thing, and with this running back class,
Pause.
I think yo, you are
It
on a
ain't me
gener,
tonight.
you
I
are on a
just want to
generational
point that out.
maniac
It
run.
ain't me tonight.
What are you saying?
You are on a generational maniac run tonight. Like
Diabolical behavior, Clyde.
you are listen, beyond diabolical, sinister even. Like you are,
Sinister is crazy.
you are. I'm gonna need you. Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna need you to calm down, Bucko. Like,
Calm down, Bucko.
need you to calm
Sheesh.
down, Bucko, because you are, you are. But no,
Crazy man.
but the thing is, this is also a great draft in terms of the running back class, and what we're starting to see now is that these running backs aren't just running; they're literally catching the ball out the backfield. Like this running back class is so crazy. You have two running backs coming out of Ohio State, and this is a place where you have to know how to run and you have to know how to catch as well. So
Yuck.
the thing is, you have Travion Henderson and you have Quentin Judkins,
Ugh.
and they're both going to have to. Okay, bias aside, shut your face, Clyde. Okay, so we're gonna. I'm gonna need you to put your
Hey,
Put
Michigan
Chris.
the
Gambit
finger
away.
Hey,
down.
Chris.
Put the
Hashtag
finger
hell.
down.
Hashtag hell. I don't even know that team that you're even talking about that's over there on the other side of
Okay,
Ohio. Anyway.
whatever. Either way, Travion Henderson or Quinshawn Judkins is going to potentially come in to a situation, and they both have a similar like it's literally either you have a fast back that can catch, or you have a power back that can catch, and either way, I mean you're going to have opportunities, but then also I think it's oh,
I
God,
like
I
the kid. I
always
like the kid out of Miami. What is it, Martinez? Damian
yeah,
Martinez.
Damian Martinez,
Yeah.
Omarion Hampton,
Oh,
like
out of Carolina.
yeah, you have your say. And the thing is, like right now, like Herbert was young enough where yes, you'll be able to come in and he's going to be a good change of pace back. But I could see us honestly taking one of those running backs because they all have a very very good skill set.
Rip to Evan Hull, man. Yeah, maybe we need to get the Undertaker tombstone sound for him because he just ain't gonna see the field in Indianapolis. And
Yeah, I don't.
I had.
What do you guys think about Scatterbo out of Arizona?
Oh yeah, we talked about him last week. I was
Yeah,
torn on drafting him.
If he was there in the second round, would you go with him?
depends. Depends.
Here's the thing about Scatterbo, and it could be similar to Jonathan Taylor. I don't know why Jonathan Taylor fails as he did when we got him in the second round. That was insane to me. I thought for sure he was a late first. Now, again, it's always going to be about team needs, but I feel like Scatterbo, the reason why I'm comparing him is because I feel like he's going to be a second or a third, and he's going to start at some point. And when he starts, he ain't giving it up. I feel like he's going to be serviceable like that. Like he doesn't have this like off the chart athleticism. Excuse me, but he's just a tough runner. He's just a football player.
He's that old traditional running back that's hard nosed and plows his way to get every yard.
But he's a small
I
guy.
like the kid. He don't have that breakaway speed that JT does.
What is he like 5'9", something like that?
No, he's about 5'10", 5'11".
Oh,
Is what he's
okay.
listed at, yeah. But like
Bro.
that's the thing. Like he's not a speed guy. Like he's not a speed
No,
back by any
hell
stretch
no.
of the imagination. I mean,
What was
he
his
is
40?
he's
Did we get a 40 time on the cat?
I think it's like I want to say 4.6.
Yeah, that's okay. That's about right.
That's not bad. That's
Well,
about what I run.
What the do you at that point? Do you have the runs? Maybe you run 4.6 with the run.
I didn't say what I was running for.
Honesty
Yeah,
hour.
because you're fat. You're smooth 8'3". Right now.
Wow,
Right now.
That's crazy.
hey, the 8'3", that's a compliment for a line.
Oh wait, no, he's 5'9.5", at least what they have him measured at. So
That's why I said I thought he's a little bit short, and they've probably given him a little bit on that because that's what they do in the programs, bro. They be like, this kid is like they gave Iverson 6 foot. Iverson's 5'10" and a half. All day, every day, 5'11", maybe. So yeah, they probably gave him a little bit in the program. But his weight is probably right. What, he's 230?
he's about like 215, I want to say.
Damn.
So technically he didn't run. So he didn't run the 4, or he's 5'9.5", 219 is what they had him measured at. And so, but the thing is, he said that he can run a 4.5. So I think he's waiting until then, because I think at one point they were talking about where he potentially is in terms of his 40 time, and they said that he's probably going to run around a 4.6, but he said he could run a 4.5. So just want to make the correction there. So
I mean, I like the kid.
Because I'm running a 10 flat.
Facts. I'm not opposed. I mean, the Ohio State kids are decent. I hate all of them. Not like in real life, but I just can't root for the Scarlet and whatever other color they are. But yeah, they're better than the backs that they've had in the past. And we've had our share of Ohio State backs. Remember Boom Herring? What the
Listen. You know what? No. What we're not going to do? We're not going to do that because Ohio State players for the Indianapolis Colts
do not really show up.
They don't,
sir.
He was decent,
sir. We're going to say we've had misses, and it's come from different colleges, because you know as well as I do that we had Mike Hart.
He got hurt. That wasn't even fair.
Don't give me that.
His knee out.
Yeah. He was on the roster.
He ran his ass off though. What was it? 4 games he played.
Don't you talk about that legend like that.
How dare you?
Let's go down the bummified list of Ohio State.
We got other things to talk about.
I'm just saying, leave
the colleges alone.
Okay, because don't make me, because I will do it. Damn it. Don't do me. Shit. Those
first off, you need to relax.
Mike Doss, the hell, 1.5 seasons, crapola, Boom Herring, Anthony Gonzalez. You know what? I'm not doing this shit with y'all. I refuse to do this shit with y'all.
Nobody asked you to.
What was a guy that retired on us? Jack Mehort. Man,
bruh.
Damn Ohio State, bro.
I actually did like Jack Mehort because when he played, he was good, but he barely ever played. So
Malik Hooker hurt every damn season. Anywho, yeah, whatever, man. So okay, so we're into wave
Kevin,
2.
Don't encourage this nonsense.
Who was that? What did Kevin say? We need more. You damn right, Kevin. Absolutely.
No, we don't. If we get Will Johnson right now, fantastic.
Yeah.
Outside of that,
you don't mean that. What about Grant? What if we got Grant on the defensive line?
Kind of got you there on that one.
What about Mason? What about Graham? What if he fell to us?
Maybe. I think he may fall to us possibly in the 3rd.
And you talking about maybe? No, my Wolverines play ball. Don't play with me. But anyway, we'll just leave that there. Colston Loveland. I mean,
keep him away.
Keep Colston away?
Yeah, I don't know. Something about him. He looks more like a TikToker than a tight end.
You know what? I'm not doing this with you, man.
Listen,
Listen,
if I'm telling you,
ain't-
if I ever saw anybody that looked like he was from an early 2000s rom com, and just like it was Colston
what the
Level.
fuck? I mean, we got the TikToker in Cam Bynum. So what does that mean?
First off, Cam Bynum's proven. Cam Bynum's proven. Not only that, but the thing is, his celebrations are intricate, and
They
he
are
only
very
does
nice.
them after they make stops.
This is very true. I am excited for what him and Kenny Moe will cook up. I'm sure they're gonna have a lot of fun, and hopefully that's because we're having a lot of turnovers on the defensive side of the ball.
Absolutely.
Okay, well,
Make defense fun again.
make defense fun again. Yeah. Okay.
What?
Well, yeah, we're just gonna let DEI have that one.
Thank you. At least I got something from you guys tonight.
All right.
Of all the things, of all
I'm
the
just sitting here looking pretty for nothing.
First off, I have no idea why Sammy put you in the middle. Sammy, what in the hell?
I don't know.
Does not. First off,
He must have Oreo cookie on his mind.
the
I don't
oh,
crystal
know.
now he's
ball.
now he's thanks,
You're a
Sammy.
little
We
late.
appreciate you,
You're a little
buddy.
late for that, Sam. We appreciate the effort, but you're a little late. And we got the crystal ball over here glowing off the top. So whatever. But anywho, before we get out of here, we got to talk about some stuff. Okay. Josh Downs camp. Mr. Josh Downs sponsor himself. You would think that he's the agent. He knows the kids' parents. He knows game day camp officials. He knows everybody. So, Pat, would you please give your Josh Downs camp notification and update?
Yeah, if you haven't seen the video that Miss Amber made up for us on our Facebook page, and I think I put it on my Twitter page as well. It is a fantastic time. It's at the Colts practice facility on 56th Street. So not only are you on the actual field that the Colts players practice on, your kids are there getting coached by these guys. Now, Game Day Camps does a great job. They bring in a lot of extra coaches because they put all the kids in different drills, and they run them just like a football practice. But they have a blast. Music is going. Josh and Anthony was out there last year. Nick Cross, Juju Brents, Raekwon Davis showed up. Man, I can't remember all of them, but it was just an absolute blast of a time. So we was lucky enough to be invited back to cover all the media for them again. But they did a little something extra for us this year. They actually gave us an entry to the camp to give away to our followers. And the way to win that is all you have to do is be subscribed to our YouTube page. It costs you $0.
That's
First off,
$0.
First off, why are you promoting this? You have to be 16 and under, correct? This is not for the dad who still wants to be
Yeah, it's not
in his
it-
NFL dreams.
it-
This
it's
is for your
not-
children.
off the field.
It's not for people like Clyde that wants, that can get under because he's under the height, but
Dang.
age limit, he aged himself out.
This is no time for you to show Josh your 8.340. Okay, this is
That's
not
crazy.
for you.
Trust me, I ain't showing nobody that one ever.
This is for the children. But anyway,
So, but
continue,
anyways, if you go to our YouTube page, Sick Podcast Anvil Show on YouTube, and subscribe, a winner's going to be drawn from all our subscribers. So if you've subscribed and supported us, from the beginning of this thing, you're still included. If you're new to the Anvil program, you're included. Just got to hit that subscribe button.
tell a friend.
Yeah, and I think it's game. Is it GameDayYouthCamps.com?
Game day youth. Oh, hold on, I got it right here. So it is gamedayouthcamps.com.
There you go.
Yes. So, and everybody learned last week that we've been picked up by a couple radio stations, Mix 105 and Z103.com. So we want to welcome you guys to the family. So
Yes.
if you have grandkids or if you got kids, boys, girls, it was well mixed in there last year between boys and girls. If you got a daughter or a granddaughter and they want to get out there, it's perfectly fine. Nobody's tackling, they just run through the drills. They learn a lot of good stuff. So get out there, subscribe, get a free entry. Even if you don't want the free entry, come out. It's a great time. It's April 13th. Somebody got to give me the times. I forgot the times.
The times aren't on the flyer.
Yeah, they're not on the flyer.
It's not. All right. So
I'm gonna guess that it's probably from 11 to 2 or in that time frame.
Yeah,
probably
like a 3-hour window or something like that. Yeah.
Yep. And that's just the first, because there will be Minty that we will be a part of. Zaire, Kenny, everybody.
All of them.
Everybody.
ALLUM. All of
them. You know what I mean?
Also, I wanted to say
both.
Both of them.
BOFF. Both. No, go ahead, Pat.
Z103.com is going to play our program every week at noon. And the cool thing about them is if you go to Z103.com, they have an app you can download. You can play.
It might be a little bit fuzzy, but you know what? You gonna get this work. So it's just like, there you go. All right. Matter of fact,
so check it out. You can take us on the road now. We're appified.
Okay, can we get all right? Are
you done with your promotions?
I don't know. Did I do a good enough job?
Man, that was some slow rolling, boy. That was like, hey, I'm gonna paint your house. Give me a month. That was slow rolling.
Well,
Z103. If you see this, make sure it's the red Z. Z103.com is the way that it shows up on Android, on Apple. So definitely download that ASAP. And
and pay attention, because Mix 105 is actually going to be at the camp, at Josh Downs camp, doing a live show during the camp.
That's gonna be cool.
Now, and what's real cool is Austin. He's been doing what he's called a hashtag strong series, where, I spoke on this last week, but where he's bringing awareness to childhood diseases that are rare. He's bringing a few of those kids out. Now, they're not going to be running the drills or anything like that, because a lot of them's recovering. One kid just finally got a kidney he needed, so he finally got out of the place.
Riley's Children?
No, in Minnesota.
Oh, Minnesota. Okay, I
know. Somebody help me out. I lost the daggum word.
That
big fancy hospital that
in Minnesota. I'm sorry, I don't know. I'm not a Minnesota.
I think there's one in Cleveland too.
Well, that led us down the paper trail.
He got out of the hospital.
Yeah, but anyways, he just got home. I believe he's coming. So it's going to be a big time. I definitely, these guys are great guys. They really throw themselves out the community to help. So help them back, and follow their pages, download the app,
and help us while you're at it.
Boom.
All right, Sammy, bring up those handles. There they go. Okay, you can find me at Colts Clyde on X. Nice try.
See, look at you. He's been practicing. Man's retired. He's just like, I gotta practice. He looks in the mirror and he says it 20 times. You can find me on X.
Confidently.
All right, Chris. He's got one of his kids standing in front of him.
Maybe I do.
Don't say the.
Maybe I do. Maybe I don't. I don't know.
Hey, whatever works, brother. I'm proud. I'm proud of you.
Where can you be found, sir?
You can find me at CJ Colts Talk, since a certain somebody who owns Twitter is still being ridiculous for her whole life. So, find me at CJ Colts Talk on Twitter, most likely in Spaces or whatever Colts community you in. And
always with the jabs. And they can find you where?
You can find me on X at Colts Clyde Jr. I'm changing my name.
You cannot.
Right here, right now.
First off, don't be on X and ever say Clyde's name.
You can find me at.
Look at Sammy.
Look,
Sammy, do not play into his antics. DEI is still very temporary. He's still in his probationary period here. You know what I'm saying? This is under new regime.
How long is this probation period?
Hey man, I don't know.
Seems like it's been going on forever.
Can you get our handle up too?
Yes.
Where can you find us?
Oh, and
Yes. On
and by
X,
the way,
Sick Pod Colts.
yes, and by the way, just big shout out to everybody because I know we got people watching from Facebook, YouTube, the people watching from Twitter, that are going through YouTube. So appreciate all of y'all because yeah, we know ain't much going on in Colts country, but you still listen to us anyway. So we
Appreciate that.
appreciate y'all for that.
Big facts. And then last but not least, please subscribe to our everything: YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, all at the Sick Podcast Anvil Show. Okay. Well, until next week. Hopefully we get some Colts news. I mean, nothing much is happening. So maybe we'll start an off-season series. We've talked about that before, where we bring on folks and
Mayo
kind of
Clinic.
rotate. Mayo Clinic. Boy,
That's the hospital I was trying to think of. Dadgum.
right before closing time, right?
Hey, I'm glad I got this out. That
last call. Mayo Clinic.
That seems like the illest threats ever.
Everybody just, for real. Like, what?
Just be like, yeah, we're gonna hook you with the new series, Mayo Clinic.
Insane. But yes, maybe we'll start a series where we have some of our fans from over the years kind of come on weekly. We could talk about everything. We could talk about favorite Colts moments. We could talk about worst Colts moments. We could talk about, if you were GM for a day, what would you do? There's so many possibilities. And I think that as the season is kind of somewhat starting here, I mean, we kind of are in league year now with, free agency, but we know it's going to be a lot of dull time. We might start to put a little calendar together and start bringing some voices on and having some shows like that. But we'll see. We'll get to that point. We'll work with our producers. We'll figure out what's going on. But until the next time, Sammy, take us out.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast Anvil Show on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.